armed with 2 critical incidents, this is as a group, 2 critical incidents that you want to have a go at evaluating as a group, just to give you some experience of how to evaluate a group discussion. And you can brainstorm that together if you like, because remember you've got to include a load of stuff as an appendix in your individual assignment, and so this whole idea of evaluating the group dynamic and what's going on is a very important one for the individual assignment. And remember, if the group work doesn't go well, and you get a lower mark for your group work than for your individual work, your individual mark stands. But it's a bit chicken and egg, because unless you've got the data for your individual work, you're not going to submit a good individual piece. So what you're doing now is hugely important for the individual work. Right, makes sense. So if you want to have a go at that, I'm not forcing you to do it, because it's obviously going to be taking up your time again. But if you want to have a go at that, picking 2 critical incidents, bring them along somehow, I'm not quite sure how. And we can have a look at them in the seminar time, that's in week 6, that would be fine. Okay, I'll leave you to it.
Alright, yeah, just, okay. Yeah, just to bring you into what we were doing on Sunday, we were basically looking at the sort of, we realised that this DVD or whatever, this video that we're going to do is a prototype, so we're not going to try and involve all the different management styles, obviously that's just going to be time consuming or whatever. So we picked 2 which were transactional and charismatic, because they're quite apart from each other on the scale of management styles. Now we're basically going to put them into a video, role play them in right and wrong situations. This is what you're doing right, and then this is what you're doing wrong, and that's how you sort of develop the management style. So I just thought, yeah, as long as you're clear on that,
yeah.
You feel happy with that, both of you?
Yeah, definitely.
You understand what we? And no one else has got any other comments from Sunday or anything? No?
No.
Okay, so yeah, basically what we need to do is like you said, sort of, we've got the content, we're going to look at transactional and charismatic.
Well, should we explain to the girls what they are?
Yeah.
So you probably don't know what those different styles are.
Yeah, I can't remember where I've got this now. I just have it out with someone. Do you have that list from Sunday, sorry?
The printed out today is...
Oh, you did?
It's all the same. It's from different side.
Yeah, there's the one. There's the other one. So they're the ones we're going to look at in the video. And then I just thought we'd start mind mapping some role playing some situations that we could put into the video, or whatever, something to I think they're both on that page today. So has anyone got a nice pad of paper that we can borrow just to start some mind mapping?
I've got paper.
Just one of those sheets or something like that. Just looking for something a bit bigger than that. That sort of size is better. So basically, yeah, has anyone got any starting points of role-play situations? Have they looked at the YouTube videos, or?
Are we going to do the sort of the wrong way of doing it and then the right way of doing it? Is that what we're going to do?
The wrong way of doing it and the right way of doing
it.
it. Also, I posted on the Facebook profile this morning 10 ways of which you can improve leadership. They were sort of stuff like act as a role model, that sort of thing. So these are the things we can put down now. We just start act as a role model. Can't remember what they are.
Do you want me to look at that?
Yeah.
See if I can get
you
it.
could just bring it on. I'll get on the.
Okay.
If someone could just write it down
Yeah.
as I go along. Cheers.
Yeah.
So learn more about your leadership style, which is obviously what we're going to do with the self-assessment test in the presentation. Encourage creativity. Serve as a role model. Be passionate.
We could link that with the charismatic, can't we? They kind of link in.
Yeah. Listen and communicate effectively. Obviously that's one thing that managers can quite easily get wrong. They're not taking enough time to listen to their staff or whatever. Yeah, have a positive attitude. Encourage people to make contributions. That's more sort of a participative management style. But something that's quite good. Or more experienced team members, so teams that have shown more maturity levels or whatever. And motivate your followers, and then finally offer rewards and recognition, and keep trying new things, which is, I know the last one's kind of hard to show in a video. They're just some things that we can sort of look at and try and incorporate into the video as we film it. Okay, I'll leave that up there. Looking at that now, does anyone have any sort of suggestions of how we could role play a right and wrong situation? We've obviously got the transactional how do you pronounce it?
Transactional.
That's the one, management style.
So there's that sort of old thing that they say, stick and carrot.
Yeah.
That's really what it's saying on there.
Yeah.
So always play on that a bit, but obviously not making it too jokey, I guess.
Yeah. That's good. Anyone else?
I can't remember who that theory is it Hertzberg?
I assume Frankfurt is that one.
There's one that's really old, one that's the theory on that transactional.
Yeah.
So which one are we saying is right and wrong?
We're not saying that it's not so much a case of right and wrong, because
what are the right aspects and wrong aspects in both of them?
And also when to use it, because I mean you've got to sort of think of the maturity level of the group. I mean, if it's a new group you just put together or whatever, they're inexperienced, you're going to need someone who more leads from the front, which is the right aspects of that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also going to show you like, how you can improve it, so how you can be more inspirational. So that sort of thing is good.
Well, didn't we say on Sunday that obviously for both we need to link them to the multicultural aspect, so
yeah.
Maybe one might be more appropriate for some cultures than others. I don't know, we said, didn't we, for the starting point of the video, that maybe we need to emphasise the fact that management and leadership are dependent on one another, so you can't have one without the other. So I don't know whether we just want to keep that as a starting point and then go into...
I think that's what we sort of established on Sunday, that we want to briefly explain that they are linked and you can't have one without the other, because obviously you'd have no direction if you didn't have management, but you'd have no followers if you didn't have leadership, whatever. So we're going to try and develop both of those aspects or whatever in the video. That's what we sort of came to. I don't know whether you guys had a look at the difference between leadership and management or whatever. I've got some brief bullet points there if you just want to have a look at that.
Okay, cool.
That's about it. So we've got a stick and carrot idea sort of for the
is that for transactional?
Yeah, because that's more sort of he takes the lead.
I think with the charismatic leadership, I think the main thing is obviously it's someone who's really enthusiastic and everything like that, but that might not be appropriate for some, or some employees might not find that, they might find that annoying, or that might not work for them. So I guess that is the main one of the main issues with that type of leadership, is that some people. So I don't know if we can link that to the multicultural thing. That No,
that's quite a good idea, because I mean, obviously, if he's a charismatic leader, he could be sort of too inspirational. I mean, he's got all this great idea, but he has no real general direction of where he's going. He just
and not sort of thinking that two heads better than one. So just taking their ideas. That's not getting the broader picture.
Anyone think of some more positive aspects of charismatic? What's
what have we said that's there? Well, obviously, kind of
well, basically,
supposedly quite inspirational and motivating.
They're enjoyable to work with. I can say that. That's it.
Yeah.
Have a look at what it says in here, about charismatic leaders.
Okay, so they tend to believe more in themselves than in their
but
team.
then just look a little bit more towards the end of it when he says that cannot be a good type of leader because it can lead to a collapse if he leaves and something like that, because you would tend to have everything controlled by yourself.
It's quite risky in that if the leader is to leave, then the whole thing will collapse.
Say that again, sorry.
Okay, so because the whole organisation is so dependent on this kind of enthusiastic leader, if they're to leave, then the whole organisation will collapse.
Yeah.
So I think it's just trying to imply that it's maybe quite a risky.
Because they become so dependent on them.
Yeah, on that single person.
That's cool, we've got some good ideas. Okay, going back to the other one, the transnational actor again. We've got this sort of stick and carrot idea. If you just want to briefly... Is it on that section or is it on the other one?
No, it says that it's only based on reward. Rewarding, but not financially, but rewarded in general, but at the same time it says that it's a good one because it gets things done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good motivational. It's like one of the most simplest way of motivating people and getting people to, do well by money, I guess.
I suppose the downside of that is the fact that you're jumping in just straight into it or whatever without really thinking about it. You just want to get things done, don't you? So
and it says there as well that team members can do little to improve their job satisfaction under transactional leadership.
So I suppose once they're getting paid, they're not caring about the actual action and how it's going to affect the company.
It's just that it has to be done.
And they're worried about their rewards more and how they're getting paid.
Yeah. So little to improve their job satisfaction.
And that they agree to obey the leader totally when they accept the job as well. So they don't really take into consideration that people are different.
Yeah, it might not be their views, it might not be what they agree with. They're just doing it because they need to get paid.
Yeah, it's also focused on short-term tasks rather than long-term.
Okay.
You say it's linked to task-oriented leadership.
Yeah.
It's linked to task-oriented.
And that its limitations for knowledge-based or creative work. So there's not very much room for creativity.
So less creativity.
Yeah.
That's cool. I suppose in that way as well, you've only got one sort of
one-sided view.
Yeah, you're not collecting the whole view of the team, or whatever. So if you've got an experienced team, it's not going to be very good because I mean his idea is probably not going to be the best out of the whole group. So
yeah, and you're not going to hear any other views because it's just one person, and they're not having
missing out on so many ideas. And better ways of doing things.
Are we keeping that with international kind of business in a multicultural?
Pardon?
Are we keeping what we're talking about related to the international business?
I think the whole thing is
multicultural.
Multicultural
group setting.
I was going to bring that up to another point. We've got to think of, because I mean, it is highlighted in our book, the multicultural aspect of the DVD or whatever. And so far we haven't really sort of talked about that, so...
We could, maybe, like, not as the whole thing, but, for example, show cultures where that one works is more common, where people accept that better. And then that one, not as the whole thing, but maybe as a literal part of it.
Yeah. That's a good idea, yeah.
I think we said, I remember on Sunday someone said with the transactional leadership, you know, they're not as kind of supportive or whatever as maybe a charismatic. So we've had an idea of maybe if you have an employee who doesn't, I don't know, who doesn't speak English that well or something, and whereas a charismatic leader might kind of try and help them to understand maybe transactional isn't so worried about that individual person and helping them to understand what they need to do or whatever.
They just worry about the actual task being executed.
So I don't know whether we can try and do that somehow.
We can always tie in with it as well and the sort of this thing, because they're obviously more what are they? I can't remember. Not J, or was it T? T people. They're not concerned with feelings. They're more concerned with sort of the logical thinking behind things.
Yeah. That's good, yeah. Yeah, because in the presentation we are going to talk about the sort of, I don't know, is it going to be, I suppose the internet, it could be internet-based self-test system where you sort of find out which manager you are and which management style you need for your situation. So that's going to involve a lot of that in the presentation.
Yeah, because then you need to identify what kind of people are actually on your team, don't you?
Yeah, so that's something to be put into the presentation, because obviously the video is only, what, 5-10 minutes or something like that, so you can't get into too much of like all of the logistics of it or something like that. So yeah.
It would be interesting to see if someone actually made this whole thing.
Well, there was a website that I found that did they did a self-test. I don't know whether you managed to see it or not. I posted it on Facebook, on our Facebook group or whatever.
Yeah.
That there is a website that does this sort of thing. It finds out which manager you are, and it sort of explains what you can do to encourage your team members to work better, work more efficiently, and that sort of thing. So I think we need to have another closer look at that, because it's quite a good idea to get some inspiration from.
Yeah, because obviously if someone done something simple, we can see what's good and what's not so good about it.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we've got some good ideas coming up at the moment. I think we need a bit more work on charismatic. We've got the fact that they're motivating. It's kind of risky though. You get more job satisfaction working for it.
Does that kind of leader praise more than
yeah.
transactional one? So I remember when I did the motivation thing last year, obviously it doesn't even have to be money, it's just that someone's telling you that you're doing a good job. And if that one doesn't really care about that, obviously you don't even know, you've just done it.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, well, since we've got some ideas coming out of there, I think we can have a look at the sort of the marketing plan or whatever that we were going to have a look at, and sort of who we're going to aim our product at or whatever. Obviously, we're coming out of the recession. I'm just going to give up in a moment. We're coming out of the recession. We're coming out of the recession. So this is for companies that are they need some inspiration, encouraging their staff to try and work more effectively. And basically, at the end of the day, it is a monetary-based thing. People want their staff to work more efficiently so they can get better profits, better encouragement. So.
What about looking into consideration the multicultural factor and the fact that due to the globalization, you're getting more and more staff from all over the world, and there is the need of training. There is a need of those managers to get training to be able to work with those different kind of people.
Yeah.
Because that would involve then the multicultural thing.
Yeah,
you could.
Yeah, because of the recession, they're going to have to try and find other ways without raising pay and things, and that will also increase motivation. Training and stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
We could maybe even link the fact that multinational companies, they tend to send managers abroad. They tend to open a factory in Brazil, whatever other countries, and they tend to have the high paid people, not from local. So then those managers, they would have to have a multicultural idea of how to work with people from other countries. So we could look into that, and that would be something quite interesting too. Because companies would be interested in training they staff to send it to other countries. You cannot just get a manager who is used to work with English people and send them to a foreign country, which is working in a completely different way.
Especially when they don't know their sort of protocols and that culture or whatever.
So and nowadays every big multinational companies are opening factories all over the world. So they definitely have something.
That's good front on the multicultural as well,
yeah, could aim the students, because lots of students do that, how it's called, internships.
Yeah.
So that's as well multicultural.
I'm only be picking on multicultural because I think
it is. No, you're right, because it is going to be a big.
I think it's quite a big thing, so we have to kind of like start looking. So far we haven't done so, and so far we've been just looking into ideas of what to do.
You're right to look at it.
We haven't actually added anything towards the multicultural stuff.
But that right there is a big section. I mean, sending managers abroad or whatever to different cultures is an easy way of showing how you can be multicultural.
And also the company brings people from their different
offices
from different countries to work in other countries as well.
So training is definitely required in this case.
What kind of businesses or corporations are we actually aiming this at? More like global businesses?
You would have to basically. You can say it's in here, the internationalization of business. So I guess they may be expecting us to aim for.
Yeah, not like a small scale
multinational,
business.
Because it is those kind of companies that invest into training more, and they invest more money in training, and would be able to pay for.
We've got to look at the sort of industry we're aiming it for as well, like whether it's going to be manufacturing or services industry or something like that. Maybe, perhaps we've got to look at that.
Yeah.
I would say that would be more to do with manufacturing.
You think it's more to do with manufacturing?
Where you have people controlling other people. You know what I mean?
I mean, you can still have people controlling people in.
But I mean, in larger groups. Because that's when you have a lot of managers. I'm looking at BMW, for example. I have a BMW in mind,
Yeah.
They are a manufacturer car, and they have got like about 100 out of the 2,000 employees that they have accounting. There's about 200 managers in it.
And also the car industry has been not very good for the last years, so they kind of need to motivate their staff as well, I guess.
I'm only giving BMW as an example of what kind of company,
Well,
because it is worldwide. It is a company that has got like all sorts of nationality working in it, and they do also have lots of managers. Every single section has got 2 or 3 managers, and managers play a massive role in that. I worked there before, so.
I'm just saying though, it might not be the only industry that we can tailor it to. I mean,
no, I'm only giving as an example of what kind of industry we.
Just another.
I don't think it can be, because if you think about like the type of leaderships, okay, we've chosen charismatic. I really don't think you'd see that kind of leadership in a massive company, or like a massive corporation like BMW or whatever.
So you're saying
what about
charismatic?
something like EasyJet?
I don't know, but do you not? I mean, I just can't see that type of leadership being. Well, yeah, I can't imagine it in a massive company.
So you reckon
like
it's
that.
more sort of a medium-sized company?
Yeah.
Because I had an internship at an oil company, a Norwegian one, where obviously you've got so many different departments that you will always have the different ones. It doesn't matter if you're far down or you're high up, because obviously I was more observing, obviously, but did definitely see the differences between the managers. It didn't really matter whether they came from England or wherever and came to that office. They would still have their specific. You would see people who more said you do that and that and that, and then you would see let's sit down and let's talk about this. What do you think? Didn't really matter whether it was high up or far down, or whether it was a big company or not, because I think there's so many different levels of management, and they do act as individuals, so they all have their own style, even though it's a big company.
Yeah, so maybe we should, rather than going for like one whole company, maybe a section of a company, maybe the development side of the company or something, their managers.
Or would you put yourself into a company owner, that would be looking to buy a thing like that? Would you be interested in buy a product that would only be effective for one part of your company, or would you be more likely to buy something that would
then
be
we
able
need
to
to make
train?
it really sort of versatile. We can't be too specific in that way. Then we need to make sure it will be.
Well, you've got to think that we're a company. This is going to be our first DVD. I mean, if you think of the product life cycle, perhaps you've got the one first, and then we introduce others like us.
I may got the idea wrong, but I think the way I thought about would be like, we're producing the DVD, a prototype DVD.
Yeah.
So it's not just because we're going to put two types of management in the DVD that our company is based on those two types of DVD of management. That would be just a prototype. If we came to BMW to train their management, and we do the self-questionnaires, we find out that they need to have training into completely different than what is in the DVD. The DVD will be just a selling point. We're gonna have to be sort of like how do you call it? Bespoke kind of like company,
Yeah.
You're gonna create the training for them.
Yeah.
The DVD that we're gonna present will be just the prototype. That's our kind of training.
Well, the whole product.
But if you get your manager to do the questionnaire, we're gonna find out what kind of manager is we, and then we're gonna produce the training for you.
Yeah.
It's not a ready-made training. It's not like a pack training. It's like a company who will produce the training for the needs that your company have.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you know what I mean. So then it doesn't matter what kind of managers you have. It doesn't matter what kind of company you're looking into, because you'll be specific for them. You based on a questionnaire, based on finding out what needs they. And then that's my idea of the company. I don't know if I'm maybe thinking in the wrong way.
No, I think that's a good
idea.
idea.
Because the way we're looking at it is too small. We're looking into just that. You have to look into a much bigger picture. We're doing a prototype. Fine, yeah. But we're just giving an example. It's just that's how our company works. But you can adapt it to any kind of management style.
Yeah, that's good as well. I think that's.
You have a much broader picture of it, and you're not limited.
I think that can be swung in our favour as well for when we're trying to sort of come at this presentation. That is one of our USPs. We are tailored towards your management style. It's not a broad DVD. So
it doesn't make any sense. You have a management company, a training management company based in only few management styles. You have to be
something that they would pay a lot of money for, and then obviously they don't want something standard.
You don't go to a consultancy company just because they know one different area. You go to a consultancy company because they know the whole market.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
At least that's what I'm thinking about. Maybe.
I agree.
While we're on this point, has anyone else got anything to add to it or anything like that? We're all right. We sort of like the idea of the.
Yeah, I think it's going in the right direction there.
Yeah.
Because I think we don't need to get hung up too much.
I'm only saying all that because I'm thinking, are we?
I don't think you need to verify that. I think you've got undoubted support from the rest of the group.
I'm only saying that because, just to clarify, because we've been seeing, especially on Sunday, we spend a lot of time trying to find out which management style we will use it.
But that's only just to show, because we want a wide range on the prototypes, so we can show that we're not just in one specific area of the market. We're in it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We get that done. We know what kind of management style we're going to use it. But just, that's just a sample. That's cool. The company will do the.
You don't need to dwell too much on it.
The company will do the whole management style. The company is a consultants management style company, so we should know and work with all sorts of style. So let's just.
But do you then think that the prototype should be specified quite a lot?
Yeah, but then you're going to have how many prototypes? Like you said, then you're going to have one prototype for.
Just mean for this presentation.
Oh, then I don't know. Like I said, I'm only looking already into as if it was a proper real company,
Sorry, say your point again. What were you trying to get across about the thing that the DVD?
No, like, because if I was thinking that if we are presenting like what you said, that we specify for each individual, that I don't know, not that I think we should or shouldn't, but should our DVD then be specified, like an example of us specifying it for?
I thought the idea, what we got on Sunday is we wanted just to show that we could do a wide range or whatever, and this prototype is meant to be a sort of a teaser of our company, what we can do. So I mean, you don't want to just be stuck on one and say, and then people get the idea that you're only good at
just that,
you know.
yeah.
So I mean,
That's the point.
yeah, just a brief sort of section on both of them, I think would be better or whatever. So.
So should we try and come up with an idea of what we can physically do in the
video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so that we can get it in our heads.
You mean a sort of a scenario that we can?
Yeah. For each one.
Well, that's why I sort of started with the mind map. I thought this would give us some ideas. If we are doing this right or wrong, we've got to sort of.
Having been in that situation, I thought that the English non-speaker would be a good situation.
Yeah.
Having been in that situation before.
The transactional one, the fact that he'd ignore him, it wouldn't be very good.
He doesn't care. He doesn't
No.
care.
You gotta get somebody with.
I think we've got a role. I think we've got our first actor.
Okay,
And it's already volunteered as well.
anyone can find.
You can be the.
You did.
You can be the
It's
manager.
on the
I
video.
don't mind
We
doing it.
have-
I don't care. I really don't care.
Me don't speak English.
So.
Yeah.
Me don't understand.
And then maybe like have one person that completely disagrees with the way the manager decides to do it. That's just like I don't get why we're doing it this way, other than like having the one that doesn't understand it, then one that just doesn't agree with the way he's doing it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're the manager, you know.
Yeah, but having a not a difficult employee, but one that's not like, yes, let's do this. Because obviously that's a scenario, because everything doesn't fit for everyone.
Because what I suggest, what the idea was, you know, you get 2 employees to try to do something, and then one do not understand the other one, and then that one who is the English speaking other would come to the manager, and then there'll be the manager. So that's why I think that's where you be focus the training on what the manager will do in that situation.
So yeah, I'm sorry. The last one I got is that we're going to bring in this non-English speaker and with the transactional manager, and he doesn't really communicate effectively with him. He's not listening. He doesn't take on his ideas on board, and that's everything wrong that a transactional manager shouldn't do. And the complete role reversal, you've got a transactional manager who's sort of more open. But I mean, if you're thinking of, I've just had a second thought, if you try and play that, it's going to come across that he's changed his management style.
Could they be having a meeting together? Maybe.
Go on. No, go on, explain.
If they were having like a meeting together, or you could show them having a meeting with maybe 4 of their team each and see what they're both doing differently. I mean, that's probably just copying what we saw earlier.
But that was a great, you know, inspiration for the video. In other words, you know, the video that we watched early on, you know, it's basically more or less what we kind of have to aim for.
I don't know how we'd highlight it unless you're comparing them.
Yeah.
Once you have one type of transactional manager trying to give like a briefing or something to their staff, and then one type of other manager show the different things. Then show them right.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And let me just write that point up. Any other ideas coming across? Victor, you got anything or?
Not really.
Just trying to think when.
I'm a bit lost.
Try and some of the things come up a bit later. With the script and everything you can add things
What
on
these
as well
guys
as
doing?
like a base idea.
As long as we've got a bit, yeah, you're right.
Shall we start the video by this online test? Like to show how you're looking for a job, calling the company, and for example, if you're the manager who will employ new people, to tell them first to go to the website and to do the online test.
So you're saying start the video with showing them go to the online test?
Showing how we're going to operate.
Yeah, how you're looking for a job.
How it actually works.
But isn't that what we're going to do in the presentation before the...
Yeah.
So what we're going to do in the DVD, just show 2 types of management, right and wrong.
Well, I suppose actually, if we've got 5 minutes, we could incorporate a bit of the.
But because surely you need to show how we're going to make it right and wrong.
Yeah.
So we would provide the test for them at the beginning as it's a prototype. We provide them a test, and then depending on then what type of leadership style we'll provide the video.
Yeah.
Specific.
So once we do this questionnaire, how do we then correct their management techniques or tell them?
Well, the idea.
So we get some information from the questionnaire and whatnot, and then we go in and watch them and correct them, or do we? How do you change their management technique?
It's like the questionnaire.
How do you go about someone who's sort of been at a company for say you go and you want to change someone's technique, who's been at a company for 20 years, they're not going to change really, are they? Some guys come in and say, well, you need to do this.
Well, I suppose they'd only be asking for help or wanting to this company if they thought
are we targeting towards new businesses or? Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of people that manage now don't want to change, and I think
but they're going to be coming to us. We're not forcing them to do it.
That.
They're the ones who see.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that they're coming towards us because they want to change. They want to become more efficient, more.
There's no point for us trying to change.
But no, you're
so
right.
The managers come towards us,
sensitive.
or the owners come towards us.
I think it would be the owners that.
Because it's more
if the team or the department
and
is
the
not
management
working,
isn't going to be
obviously they're gonna.
Management can be, if you're doing that and it's not the actual managers, they might become quite sensitive, be like, oh well, I didn't know what I was doing anything wrong, so yeah, we've got to be quite sensitive. It's got to be not.
Then we wouldn't say you're doing it wrong. We would say like, here's a different
why don't you try
way.
this?
Like, you don't have to do it.
But are we gonna? Is the idea that we watch them and then give them hints and tips and stuff, and then?
No, we're making the DVD, aren't we? We have to observe them before we actually.
Yeah, so you observe. I'm not saying in the DVD we're going to show people watching, but that's how it's going to work, right?
Yeah.
So you watch them and then you
make this personalised DVD for that thing, and obviously someone else to talk to, just not the DVD because they pay too much to do that.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Initially they're doing the survey or the questionnaire, and then someone comes in and maybe observes them and make the DVD, and then obviously if they've got more questions or
I suppose the idea is that we're coming up with the solution, isn't it? So I mean, the DVD is the right way of doing it, the right management style. So I mean, it would benefit to watch the company and see where they're going wrong or whatever. But in the end, the DVD is sort of set around original templates that sort of just are slightly tweaked to that individual company.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean. So it would be, you've got a good manager or whatever, but he could be more effective in communicating or more effective on taking on ideas. That sort of.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to try. That's what we're going to try and get across in the video. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, because I mean, if this is we're trying to get this to every multinational corporation out there, we might be aiming to say, yeah, we'll send someone to view your company or investigate your company or whatever. But in realistic terms, we're not going to be able to do that, are we? I mean, I suppose if we're just a small company starting out.
I don't think it would be the whole company though. It would be more.
It's departments, but so if you're breaking it down further into departments rather than the whole company, that's even more people to go around. That's even more sections to try and incorporate or something like that. So I don't know, maybe you say something like send us a video of a group meeting, or send us some evidence, and we'll have a look at it, and we'll come up with our analysis.
That's not really representative of the whole whatever's wrong though.
I'm just trying to get the idea across that it's unrealistic as a company to try and say that we'll have a consultant with you for a week.
No.
I mean,
especially if we're going through during the recession type thing, companies are not going to be able to afford to send someone like.
But that's the whole point of the video. The video is meant to be telling them how that they can develop the appropriate management style for them. So I thought the whole point was they did this test to tell them what type of manager they are now. Then they can look at the video and think, okay, you can have this type or this type, and for them to then decide. Maybe then if they can't find a solution or whatever, then we step in. But the whole point of the video is to be able to teach them.
To teach them and to teach their staff as well.
Yeah, to teach them how to kind of do it on their own. So I don't think it should be that a consultant has to go in and watch them for a week, and that's just not realistic.
But I mean, if these companies are paying a fair amount for this DVD, they're going to want some extra help, aren't they? So I don't know, maybe we set up a...
It all depends how much you're charging them.
Yeah, how much are we charging them? We say they're going to pay a lot of money. Do we actually have any idea?
We're going to charge them enough money to have someone within the company for a week.
Or maybe you look at different packages, say the ultimate managing development experience with a free consultant or something like that. That's the top premium package. Basic packages, you get this DVD, and then if you need any help, we've got a hotline here.
Yeah.
Call us on that. Is that a possibility?
Yeah,
I think,
definitely. They want the same thing anyway, so
yeah, different companies of different departments want different amounts of help, won't they? They'll just and also then it separates into some of these bigger multinational corporations will be able to will want the premium experience, whereas some of the small startup businesses won't. They'll just want a bit of extra advice here and there.
Yeah.
So okay, that's something we can have a look at. And then that, as a business perspective as well, broadens our product range. So we're not just this one DVD. There we are. We're going to die as soon as the product cycle reaches the end. We can sort of.
What kind of argument are we going to use to sell?
Sorry?
What kind of argument are we going to use to sell?
Well, we are the only company out there to create a bespoke training DVD for your company.
But you have to. Don't you think that you may have to sort of like what was about the lecture today? Anybody in the lecture today? No. When you influence somebody, not influence, but
persuade
when you persuade someone that they have a problem, that's when they need to buy your DVD. So that's when you may have to have an argument.
And they think, the DVD.
Because how can you just tell them you buy a DVD and you're going to train your managers? They just think that they don't need training, so.
The whole thing was efficiency, wasn't it? So we want to sell it on the point that we can improve their.
You've got to look at it as
efficiency.
Why do most companies turn to consultants? It's because there's something fundamentally going wrong in their company, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's when they go after a consultant's company.
Not necessarily. Sometimes they just want advice, but I think we might be going off the point because people are wanting management videos like this. There is a market, so rather than thinking why, that probably should think
No,
about what we put in there.
you only came across the fact of, we may need to think of, particularly when you do a presentation for the
But
potential
that's why we've
buyers.
got the mission and stuff.
For potential buyers, you have to come up with a reason why you want to buy us. Not just because we're going to train your managers.
We're going to up efficiency. That would be the.
I'm only bringing up something that I think would just put some more into the DVD. Because it's like when you watch an advert. They make you look like you're interesting to. They're not.
I think our presentation is the part where we're supposed to persuade them. Obviously, the DVD is a tool that we use to present ourselves, what we can do. But then, obviously, we have to say, why would you want this?
Exactly, yeah. But that's the point.
We're so good because of blah blah blah.
Because you cannot just say because we're going to train your manager. Anyone can do that.
Yeah, we have to say why. Why is that going to help you? Why will you want to train your manager whatsoever?
The fact that they're going to look to us is because we're more tailored to their specific industry and their situation.
And
that's our unique selling point. That's how we're going to sell the company.
Having an actual consultant coming in for 2 weeks or a month. Because obviously it's the recession or out of the recession.
So they have that option of just doing the DVD and stuff. Yeah, I think I do think we're quite clear on why we've done it.
What are unique selling points? That's how we're going to sell the product. You've got to look at the USPs. The fact that if they want more help than the DVD, they can. If they don't, then we're not going to be intrusive. They can have the DVD, and it's tailored to their specific situation. It's not just
to anyone.
Yeah, it's not just broad.
I may put my point, maybe in the wrong form. If I'm not wrong again, we're looking into. Or when we're presenting, we're going to present in. I'm just thinking actually, are we going to present in a kind of like a Dragon Dance thing, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got to sell ourselves. We are a company now. We've got to.
What I'm trying to say is, are we looking for? That's even a good question, but are we looking for winning?
Carry on with your meeting. At just before 5 I'll give you feedback, and then you can ask questions.
Okay. I'm only saying, are we looking for? What are we looking when we're presenting for a board?
It's investment, isn't it?
Are we looking for investment? That's what I'm saying. Or are we just presenting our company? Because if we're looking for investment, we need to have a reason why they will invest on us.
It does say on the page.
It's for company.
I think it came across as investors and potential buyers.
Because then what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because then what I'm saying is we need to come up, I guess everybody watched Dragon Dance before, and they always come with figures. They always come in with, this product will work because 90% of the companies don't have the proper management styles that they would have, that they should have, or something like that. You have to have.
But you show an example of how much actually that appropriate management styles has increased. Their efficiency and their profit, saying that, see how much this changes your business. That's what we're doing.
But if you had a business, would you agree if someone came and said you don't have a right management style, you need a training for it?
It's not necessarily that's completely wrong, it's just improving it. I'm not saying that you're completely off, it's just showing them the way.
And we're not going into people's companies and saying you've got the wrong management style, you need to do this. It's people coming
to us.
We have to remember that, we're not. They've obviously acknowledged they've got a problem, so they're going to take advice.
Yeah, if you run a company, you generally want to get any kind of information you can in other ways other people run things or other ideas. It would be the most sensible thing.
No, I do understand that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm only trying to put a point where we needed to kind of find a way to show them that they need training, that they...
get evidence of why it works or how it works.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're going to have a company, we're going to have the material, we're going to have the, we know how to do it, but we don't know how to tell them that they need us. We're going to have to, I don't know if I'm...
No. That's the selling part, though.
But I think we know, like that. That's why I don't really understand. I think we know why we want to do this. I think we've made that point, and that's what we've said in our mission and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's something we need to worry about too much right now.
It's about the marketing, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
Definitely
I'm
is.
just bringing in stuff that I think is.
As if they stumble
Sorry,
upon
I'm just going to sneeze in a minute.
Because if they stumble upon a company, obviously there needs to be something that they're like, oh yes, this is exactly what we want. But that doesn't have to be too complicated, I think.
Yeah, obviously.
But we can just think about all the stuff. You need to focus on having new ideas.
Marketing plan. Obviously, I'm not going to decide it because it's for everyone. But if I try at least to come up with something, and then I'll bring it with different ideas, not just one set thing, and then you can agree, disagree, and come up with different.
Yeah.
As long as you've got something.
Yeah, a starting point would be definitely. It's a good idea.
And I can post it on the Facebook group before.
Yeah, it's probably good to do it before so people can have a look at it and have a think about it before.
And add or take away or.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah.